Square One DSM is an initiative of the Greater Des Moines Partnership that mentors, connects, and enhances the potential for success for entrepreneurs in Greater Des Moines.
All right, well, without further ado, let's start talking about structurally. Why don't you guys, if you would, kind of start out telling us who's who, so everybody knows which one of you is which. Mm-hmm. I want to know how the heck you guys met, because you didn't go to college together. So how did you meet, and because I met you guys when you were still in college, I believe. So maybe give us the backstory when you started.
Yeah, so I'm Nate Joens. I am from Johnston, Iowa, and so is Andrew. That's actually how we met. So I went to Iowa State, studied urban planning and GIS, where I really got interested in real estate. Met Mike at Startup City Des Moines, and kind of when we were in the idea phase, just trying to figure out what we were doing, really had no idea what we were doing. Decided I was going to finish out college and then pursue structurally.
That makes her happy parents.
Yeah, that does.
So I'm Andrew Dickelman. We are from Johnston, so I think we originally met in like third grade, maybe, I think. Wow. So we were neighbors, we grew up, walking distance away. I think we met playing AAU basketball. Back then they rocked some really spiky hair and a headband, so that was a good look.
Nice. Do you have a picture of that?
Somewhere. Yeah,
we need a picture. Yeah, that'd be a good one. So I mentioned you guys when you were at Startup Stories, you were still in college, you were looking at the real estate market. What was the first couple problems you looked at?
Yeah.
So you had an interesting journey, because what you're doing today isn't what you started out to do.
Yeah, so we got really interested in real estate investing, mostly just because we thought that there was a lot of opportunity to look at data and just make a better use of it for investing purposes. I remember specifically you told us that we should take a look at the problem with data in the real estate, and I remember specifically said it's going to be a rabbit hole, and we started chasing.
Did I say that?
I think you did. Yeah, and I think we started chasing that rabbit hole and chasing it. We ended up meeting some amazing, who are now our technical co-founders, PhD students in Iowa State in stats and math, who love messy, horrible data, and they see the rabbit hole of real estate data as an opportunity, which is kind of now where we've ended up.
So that's about a 3-year wrap from when I first met you. I think it's been 3 or 4 years. Yeah, the table's a while. It doesn't fall over.
Yeah.
So it just bounces a little bit. It's been about 3 years, I think, since before.
Yeah, I think when we first met at Startup City Des Moines, we were between our sophomore and junior years of college, and I think that previous winter, when we were back home from break from school, we just started looking at real estate, investing specifically, bought all kinds of books, just kept doing research. When we went back to school, we continued doing that, just talking back and forth, going around some ideas. And then for whatever reason, I don't even know why, we decided to try and hang out at Startup City Des Moines and meet people like Mike and learn all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Well, rabbit holes, huh?
Yeah.
The first problem you guys tackled was the data around the multiple listing service.
Yeah.
And I think you did a lot of customer discovery around that. So can you talk just a little bit about what you learned about the process of customer discovery? Because I know we had a lot of fun trying to get into certain people's offices.
Yeah.
And made decisions. It's very hard to get into certain people's offices. But what did you learn from that customer discovery process?
Yeah. So we're now also a part of, we're a part of the ISU Startup Factory, who also preach customer discovery. And we probably interviewed, I always ask him how many interviews and demos he's done with realtors. It's probably like 250 or more.
Yeah,
he spends all of his life talking to realtors now, which is obviously the number one thing that any entrepreneur should do. You should always get into the office. I think the Y Combinator saying is get out of the office and build your product or something like that. And I think they say it in that order because getting out of the office is priority number one. You have to identify a problem that's they're worth that the realtor sees every day in their life and that they're willing to pay for, and then you can move on to those solutions.
So the specific problem that we first tackled was the accuracy of MLS listing information. So that whole summer at Startup City, we basically just looked at real estate listings online and compared them to what was in the newspaper or what was on a magazine or some other various information source. And we found that about a third of those listings, comparing them from, online, whether it was on Realtor.com or, the Iowa Realty website compared to the newspaper for Iowa Realty, there's some inaccuracies there. So even on one listing from another, one would say 4 baths, the other would say 3 baths.
Some of those were pretty big deals.
Yeah.
Like 1 story versus 2 stories,
Yeah.
1 stall, 3 stall.
So we checked on those, had a data set of like 10,000 listings, I think, went to Mike Knapp at Iowa Realty and Dean Hunsker at Hunsker and Associates up in Ames, said, hey, is this valuable to you? And they said yes, but they wouldn't pay for it because they're still selling homes. It wasn't really a problem that they would be willing to pay for. So we kind of took a step back and kind of a small pivot, I guess, to try and find a new idea.
Well, it was interesting, I was with you one day when we were talking, one of the realty people, I think it might have been Iowa Realty here in town, we were talking about one particular problem is measuring square footage. Because a lot of these different ads for the same house, you'd see 5 different numbers for square footage, and then that range 30%. You're like, is it 1,500 feet or is it 2,200 feet? And I remember him saying, well, how would you measure it? Do you measure the outside wall, the inside wall, do you measure the closet, do you measure the hallways, yes, no? And it turned out there wasn't a standard, so this is something that had evolved. So there almost wasn't a right answer to it. So you got into all this data, and interestingly enough, now that AI is becoming a thing, now you're dealing with all this data and you deal with AI. So how did you start getting involved with AI?
Yeah, so it all kind of started at a real estate data hackathon, actually in San Francisco, that was put on by Zillow Group. So Zillow's, the brand name in real estate. It one day landed in my inbox. I just happened to know who are now, the PhD students at Iowa State. I was kind of like bouncing ideas off of them, and I was like, hey, if we paid for your trip or got your trip paid for, would you come down and work on this hackathon? Just build something cool with us. And of course they loved that idea. So we took them down. How many did we have out there? 6? Yeah, 6 or 7.
To San Francisco?
Yeah, at this hackathon.
Nice.
And we got access to hundreds of millions, if not billions, of data points of all U.S. Property records across the entire country, some MLS data. This is something that is just never been seen before in real estate, a hackathon, using real estate data. Mind blowing to some MLSs, but they let us do it for a weekend. We built what was not necessarily core to our product now, but still a part of it. It was a predictive days to sell model. So it kind of takes the Zillow's estimate. I'm sure some of you are familiar with that. This is what your property's worth. But we actually flipped it on its head and said, okay, you tell us what you want to sell your property for, and we'll tell you how long it will be on the market at any given price. So it turns out no one had ever, there have been people who've thought of building that model, but no one ever actually built it. Turns out our now kind of technical co-founders fell in love with the real estate data space because there's so much of it, and there's a lot of fun problems to solve.
Yeah, there is a lot of data, because the property records matter.
Yep.
So, without getting too geeky, what tools do they use? Whose tool sets?
At the hackathon?
Yeah, or in general.
Okay, so the hackathon was actually put on by a company called Retzley, which was acquired by Zillow, I think right around the time that we went down there. So they actually standardize MLS and public record data via an API. Mm-hmm. So that made our lives extremely easy for that event. So our data scientists got all of the data in one place in one format where they could just build a model.
So the data was pretty clean.
It was very clean.
Okay, so for the tools, were you using TensorFlow, or what were you using?
I think they might have been using XGBoost during that time. I can't totally remember. I know it was some sort of gradient boosting tool set. I can't remember specifically what they used there, but that's one thing that we're using today for kind of what is now what our product has evolved into, which is Homes, which is AI for following up with leads.
Yeah, so give us the story about Homes. Give us a use story. How does it work from the standpoint of a realtor? What's the value problem? Why do they care?
So when we were at that hackathon, kind of while we were still in school, we would spend most of our days just trying to talk to realtors. We had so many different conversations with realtors that were really helpful, and we kind of narrow down on this problem that kept popping up, that realtors spend all this money on leads, which is kind of the core of the business. But then once those leads come in, they're super busy, so they can't follow up with the leads. So Enters Homes, which is an AI, what we call inside sales agent. So just an automated system that automatically follows up with online leads for realtors. So we have that initial qualifying question. We'll initially reach out within 30 seconds or a minute, which is kind of unheard of in real estate.
You're being very kind.
Yeah. So we had that initial qualifying conversation where we try and answer lead questions with MLS data, which is really important because we can actually provide them value. A lot of the services out there right now just pepper the lead with all kinds of questions and they don't really provide that lead value. So we want to answer their questions, but also help pre-qualify them on behalf of the realtor. So we have that initial conversation and hopefully hand off a warm lead to that agent where they can kind of pick up where we left off.
There was a really nice example on their website where they show a text message coming in and saying, hey, I'm looking, do you have any houses in this neighborhood for this price with a new kitchen or something like that? And the response wasn't yes, it was yes, what do you think of these three? And it shot back 3 listings that met the basic, 1 or 2 of the basic attributes.
Yeah.
And then it went on from there to actually schedule a meeting, a chance to show the house, which if you think about a realtor, if it's the weekend, if it's Sunday, if you're around here, realtors are really busy on Sunday because there's a lot of housing sales, a lot of people looking. So if it's on Sunday, you get a text message, you got 5 showings in a row, or you're looking at the house, you just can't answer, so it might age out to Monday, and then get lost, so very much. So you pivoted to this, Holmes is in Sherlock Holmes is the concept, right?
Yep.
Holmes. All right, so what's behind that? I mean, what does the realtor see beyond just people getting questions answered? Do they have a dashboard? How do they know it's making them money? Because to me, the renewal comes when somebody says, this actually makes me money, I'm willing to pay for it.
Right, so we have a web app, iOS, and an Android app where the agent can log in, manage all their conversations in one place, which that alone is almost unheard of. They're using a bunch of different apps to manage text leads, live chat leads, Facebook leads. We put all of those leads in one place, and Homes can respond to all of those leads across any messaging platform.
Did you have to build the unified message system, or did you use somebody's piece of code? Or?
So we're actually using a pretty amazing company called Smooch, they have a pretty cool name. They're out of Canada, and what they do is provide like a unified API so that we can launch a bot across any number of messaging platforms. So right now we work on live chat, Facebook, text, but we could through Smooch roll out to WeChat, Viber, any messaging channel that you've probably ever heard of or never heard of.
They need a new name.
Smooch?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, so let's see about trying to walk into a boardroom principal and sell Smooch for
Yeah,
I think I might not get past the diversity committee or the inclusion committee with that one, or the politically correct committee, so, cool. So what do they pay for it? Well, first of all, is it out? Are you out selling the product now? Do people use it live? Where are you at in the process?
Yeah, we're live with about 35 agents right now, so we just kind of had a soft launch a couple weeks ago. We were out at the Inman conference last week. It's the biggest real estate tech conference, so that's always really important for us. Feedback there was really good, and then what we'll do next week is kind of have a bigger launch. So we have 30, almost 4,000 agents signed up to this point that are just kind of on a wait list, so we'll start rolling out to those people between now and the rest of this year.
So how much can you do per month or week, or maybe you do a case? I think you're not going to turn on 4,000 ladies and gentlemen at the same time and watch it fly. What's your plan to roll that out? Because that's not easy.
So we have 6 different waves that we're rolling out to. So who we launched to originally a couple weeks ago was our wave 1. So we're planning on launching to a new wave each month between now and the rest of this year.
So how do you measure that? And I'm sitting here thinking about 2030 you can measure by just looking at everyone. How are you going to deal with the more automated approach to how are we doing? Because that's always a question. How are our 800 customers doing?
Yeah, that's something that we're really focused on actually this week and last week is, okay, you can't really like launch a product and then just be blind to your users. So we're really focused on building in tools that help us kind of see in our customers' engagement and success. There's some really cool tools out there that make our life a lot easier. Some that we're using are obviously Intercom. That has been pretty amazing for us, even in our early goes. You can add data, like custom data, via an API into the Intercom dashboard, so we can see everything that our users have installed, all the leads that they've engaged, where the leads come from. We're also using a tool that we're just trying to figure out and compare, which is called Heap Analytics. It's very similar to Mixpanel. Heap is more out of the box, where it just kind of sends you data automatically. Mixpanel is more, you have to build your analytics.
Mixpanel's more toolkit.
Yeah, and Heap is much more out of the box. So we're experimenting with Heap first. And then one that we're really excited about getting implemented, but not implemented yet, is Segment.io. And that's basically like a data warehouse, but it connects to all of the apps that we're using. So Segment sits on top of, or like around Heap, Intercom, all of the other like SaaS tools that we're using, and then sends all the data to a data warehouse, so we can do like custom data.
So for those who are into the technology, you're probably going, what foreign language are we talking about? Smooch, Heap,
Segment.
Intercom, Segment, yeah. So tools, so that's one of the great things, is things that used to be able to build all this stuff yourself, now you get to just pull in pieces and parts as you need it. So, how big is your team?
We have a team of 7 full-time now, and an intern, so 7.5, I guess.
So you have an intern, you just got out of college, you have an intern as well.
Yeah.
7.5.
Yeah.
So, how are you funding this?
Yeah, we just closed a seed round with AMC Capital and St. Dolphin Capital last month, I think. So that was $800,000. So that's kind of where we are able to hire these people. We hired 3 new engineers a couple months ago, and we had those data scientists already in house, which are really the core to building out this AI technology.
So the ones you took to San Francisco, they're still with you?
Yeah, two of them are still with us, and we're trying to recruit a third one back. He went to Apple instead, which can't blame him. So I'm trying to get him back now.
He's not Apple. He's not happy at Apple anymore.
He's not?
No, not really.
Well, it's a big company.
Yeah.
Big companies are big companies, no matter how cool they are, they're still big companies. They're issues.
Yep.
So what's next for you guys? Are you going to roll out these, the plan is to spend the rest of this year rolling out to these 4,000 users?
Yeah.
What happens if somebody new shows up and says, I want it?
Yeah.
To get in line, or what's going on?
Yeah, we'll probably expand our ways toward the back end once we learn how to. So the biggest thing that we need to do from an onboarding perspective to get our users actually using our product and seeing value is we need to get integrated with all their different lead sources. So we need to get hooked up with their Zillow leads, their Realtor.com leads, their website form leads, their website live chat, Facebook. So we need to really help them do that. Realtors aren't always the most tech forward, so we're trying to, like Nate said, have tools in place, really good help docs, both written and videos, for people to kind of help them get integrated with our system so they can see that value.
One of the best ones I ever saw was a product about a year ago called Brand Yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard of brandyourself.com?
Yeah.
So their system actually, as you would pull up the screen and then do a second window for the browser, and it would literally show you what Facebook was going to look like, and what answer you should see, and which button you should push, so you can side by side it. It was kind of the more amazing onboarding, because it was Facebook, Twitter, all this web stuff, URLs, all this, but they literally had kept it up to date, so what you saw on Facebook is what they showed you on their home screen, step by step by step by step. It was pretty amazing. Because that was their challenge. How do you onboard all these people that have to connect?
Yeah.
10 or 15 systems linked and all this stuff without being technical.
Yeah.
Very cool. So seven plus employees, mostly data scientists and engineers.
Yep.
Are you doing all the selling?
Yeah, pretty much. I spend most of my days talking with realtors, talking to new prospective clients, giving them demos. For those clients who have onboarded already, making sure they're all set up and running well. And next week, obviously, getting a lot of new people onboarded and making sure they're kind of in our system, everything's integrated and good to go.
For those of you guys, I'm going to open up to questions here just a minute, so please think about some questions. My last question for the moment is, who's your target market? Who's your target person to sell to? Because realty is not just, there's multiple tiers of realty, so maybe describe the ecosystem and then how you're going to sell to that ecosystem.
We're really focused on selling to brokerages. We're trying to build our system in a way that is self-serve to the individual agent, so that obviously we don't have to spend a lot of our cycles dealing with 1.2 million individual realtors. We want to focus on brokerages because it's a lot easier to sell to us. We've had time and time again brokers come up to us and say, my agents are just never following up with the leads. I spent thousands of dollars getting them. Like, please help. So
the brokerage
yeah,
people are the ones with the real heartache.
yep, they are. Yep.
So the agent doesn't really pay for the lead, the broker pays for the lead.
It can vary.
Okay.
Sometimes it's the real estate industry is kind of a weird world because individual realtors, although they're a part of a broker, they almost act as an independent contractor. But most of the time, brokers will provide them with some sort of technology. On occasions, sometimes leads too. But realtors can act independently too, and pay thousands of dollars for their own leads. Maybe just not follow up with them again.
Sounds like a mess.
Yeah.
Questions, please, guys? Yeah, Steve?
Hi, and congratulations on your progress.
Thanks.
So, just wondering what your business model is. Do you have a subscription? Do they pay per lead? How does that work? And are you testing certain things out? Or?
Yeah, so what's your business model? How do you make money?
Yeah, so it's just a flat monthly subscription. We have different packages for agents, teams, brokerages, or up to franchises with thousands and thousands of agents. That's where we got a lot of insight by just talking with customers. We played around with a per lead model for a while. That's how a lot of the providers in real estate do it generally, but the realtors that we spoke to, a lot of them didn't like the unpredictability of that. They wanted to be able to say, we're paying structurally $99 per month, and this is what we're getting, rather than, we may pay structurally $200 this month, but only $50 this month. So they really just wanted that simple predictability with unlimited leads, unlimited messages, unlimited everything, basically.
There's also the idea of why am I paying $2 for this lead who gave me their name versus this lead who told me to screw off, basically.
Yeah, lead quality.
Yeah.
Good lead.
How do you compare those two? We didn't want to get into that space just because it's probably pretty miserable. The other reason that we really wanted to go subscription route with unlimited leads is because traditionally in real estate, call centers aren't new, and most call centers charge realtors on a per lead basis because of the human capital that is involved in a call center. Being that we're a software company, AI first, we don't have human overhead of paying and staffing a call center, so it doesn't cost us, X amount of dollars to go out and qualify another lead. The more leads, the better that flow through our system. We didn't want to penalize.
Yeah, and that's a big danger with a per unit price point. I see this a lot in the agriculture world. People that are providing services to farmers are charging per acre. Well, you make it really hard with farmers says, I think about running 5,000 acres more of land, and suddenly their costs go up dramatically. I think it's going to have to change a little bit. Next question.
Hi guys, I'm Greg from Denham, and we do something similar in the insurance space with insurance agents and brokers. And I'm interested, was it even a discussion or a consideration to build first and foremost for single users, like you've talked about, versus, and now you're kind of moving upstream into brokerages? Or in our case, we built the product specifically for the enterprise sale, but now we're having discussions about how to come the other direction, back to the individual market, the individual user market. So that's really changes the onboarding experience, right? So we're designing and building, re-engineering that onboarding experience right now. So I'm just curious as to your thoughts about the differences there.
Yeah. So we really kind of went the opposite route, where we designed for the individual agent first, and we wanted to prove out the model for the individual agent, because a lot of the times, if we can win the hearts of the agents, they'll go up to their broker and say, I'm doing really well with this product, let's implement it brokerage-wide. So now we are trying to figure out how we want to go about the enterprise route, as that's where we want to be. For example, when we were in Inman last week, we were talking to Ray White, which is the largest brokerage in Australia, and they represent 20,000 agents, and we were just our product has no merit in being able to accommodate a franchise of that size. So how do we build for the enterprise is kind of where we're moving towards next in the product.
Yes, that's a whole new dashboard, a multi-tiered dashboard.
Yeah.
You got a tier out of the dashboard for every tier
Yeah.
of management, pretty much.
I've been looking at I don't know if you use Slack a whole lot, but I've been looking at, I imagine, I've been looking at Slack Grid, which is their enterprise version of Slack, just as like a comparison, and how we could I think they do an incredible job with that product, catering to the enterprise, so taking some inspiration from that.
I know you guys just started, but do you have an exit strategy in mind?
Yeah.
I'm sure if you've taken money, you've got an exit strategy.
Yeah.
Question number 2 was your exit.
Yeah, so it's a really clear fit kind of in the greater portfolio of some larger real estate tech company. There are a lot of bigger real estate tech vendors, Boomtown Commissions Inc., Zillow, of course, Realtor.com, who's operated by Move. So we definitely want to get acquired, and it's kind of a nice fit into their larger platform with lots of users.
And lots of data.
Yeah.
So one of the nuances of the real estate industry, like we started with, is MLSs. So why we tranched our rollout strategy based on waves is because we have to go and launch wave by wave. If we were to exist in a large company that already has all of that MLS data, our system works a lot better, and it's a lot less headache for us, obviously.
Yeah, good.
I'm curious, this not just for you, but Mike, you might be able to, why, I know it's the money about getting bought out, you see the dollar signs, but you're also giving up something you put a lot of time into and now you're unemployed. Does it ever happen where people say, no, I don't want to sell, I want to keep doing this and farming it out?
Well, I can give you the angel side of it. The angel investor side of it is when an angel deploys their capital, the question is when you get your money back. And so if I invest in your company, and you're not a publicly traded company, there's no market for me to sell out. If I'm a minority shareholder, which a lot of angels are basically minority shareholders, I really know I have some rights, but I can't force a sale of the company. My money may sit there for 30 years, and I never get it back. So any good, proper investment has the question of when does my money come back to me. Buy a mutual fund, you can get it back pretty much any time. Buy a bond, it's got a trigger point where you can sell, or you can put secondary markets. But when you get into equity investments in companies, it's a non-liquid market for the most part. And so going in, an angel is looking for a return, usually in 3 to 5 years, maybe 7. And so normally the only way you're going to get that exit, or get that return, is an exit. There was a time when IPOs were a lot bigger deal, that's kind of changed. So that's what normally drives it, and for a lot of the entrepreneurs, to be honest with you, I'm not going to speak for these guys. A lot of people love starting a company, but taking a company from 50 people to 5,000 is a completely different trip than 0 to 50. And it takes different skills, and then many times it's not the same person. They find out they don't like the company when it gets to 300 people.
So then, this is a follow-up. So when you guys take on investors like you've done, then you prepare yourself that you're going to probably sell. I mean, you already talked about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's also how they get paid,
Mhm.
because they don't get paid very much right now. I'm sure their investors aren't paying them much. Robin Noodles in an apartment, is that about it?
Yeah, actually, right now.
Yeah.
But it was an easy transition from college.
Yeah, just keep going to college, right? Yeah. Good.
Ramen's very much in vogue right now, though, you know that. Find out.
That just destroys my mind of ramens and all the years of being the worst thing you can eat.
So I want to ask a question about team and culture. I would assume we're very similar to the stage. We raised a seed round earlier this year, similar to you guys. We've got 4 full-time on payroll and 3 part-time and independent contractors. I guess the question is, how do you think about remote versus hiring for everybody in one location versus multi-location? What's your philosophy on this about, like, A, what do you stand for as an employment brand, or when people come to work for you? What do you guys talk about? What's important, all that kind of stuff?
When you guys first started, I didn't think the question would be is explain the culture of your company.
Yeah.
But hello, when you're trying to hire people, right?
Yeah.
So what have you run into? Where do you stand with culture?
Yeah, it's what we're running into right now, actually, with trying to hire back this data scientist from Apple. So, perfect example, he was a PhD student in stats at Iowa State. He understands Ames, he understands Iowa. but he obviously left for the West Coast. He is, he would take the job hands down right now that we're offering him if it were on the West Coast. So bringing him back is the hardest part about recruiting him to the position. So we've had this discussion of like, could he work remote? Does that make a lot of sense? And we lofted it out to the team, and unanimous decision was we don't need remote right now. It just won't work. As amazing as a data scientist as he is, and he's really good friends with our other data scientists, he needs to be in the office, and that's one thing that we push for.
So the office is Ames, is that right?
The office is Ames,
Yeah. So speaking to the actual culture, we try and give everyone as much autonomy as we possibly can. We don't tell people they have to dress up. I feel very dressed up today. I'm normally wearing sandals. I haven't worn socks to work in months since it's been summer. But engineers generally get there later and they stay later. We kind of reached a point where people were getting there between 11 and noon, and we kind of had to be like, guys, maybe get here closer to 10 type of thing. So we try and keep it fun though. We have 9 Nerf guns in our office. It's very much kind of a work hard, play hard. We want to give people as much autonomy as they can, as long as they're getting their work done.
Right.
I know one of our guys today he's just working from home, and we're okay with that as long as he's getting his stuff done. I think especially as younger founders, I don't really know how old everyone is on our team, but I think we're the youngest people. We're all pretty young. We have a 35-year-old, but everyone else is between 20 and 25.
Yeah.
35.
Yeah, so I think we're learning that because we're so young, we need to be more strict a little bit in our kind of policies and things like that, because I don't know, it's just we have to kind of counteract it a little bit proactively, just because we're their age, and trying to tell them to come in earlier seems a little bit weird. But yeah, along the culture too. We have monthly hackathons because everyone there loves to work and they love to code. And yeah, we have Bagel Fridays, so we're trying to do little things that obviously instill the tradition and the culture of things that we do here. And it's still something we're figuring out, but.
Question? In the back, way back.
Can you describe a little bit about your experience with Startup Factory?
Yeah.
Talk about Startup Factory.
So we were probably the first company in the first cohort, actually. So it was really raw, I guess, to start. No one really knew what they were doing, but they've got it figured out. Bill Adamowski runs it, and it turns out that he comes from a background in mortgage and kind of real estate and technology. So he was a great mentor to us throughout the entire time. They gave us free office space, so we really can't complain at all about that. And yeah, it's just really cool to be around a lot of other startups too, just to air out our problems, and that helps. We've aired out some of our technical problems, and we've heard from other companies that we've talked to. It's it's nice to hear your problems for once rather than just our problems. So
Traditionally, it's more fun to work on somebody else's
Yeah.
problem than your own.
yeah.
Steve, you had a question?
Yeah, it was I was going to ask about whether your platform was universal, that could work in any country. You mentioned Ray White in Australia. So are there any limitations in your research so far in going into other countries?
Other countries.
Yeah, we're English first, just because all our natural language processing tasks are built on the English language. So as our data scientist said,
Yeah, they don't speak English in Australia.
yeah, it's close enough. But
That's what the British say about us, that we don't speak English in the US.
But yeah, our data scientist said there's no way he's going to be able to figure out a way to parse Mandarin anytime soon. But adding in a few different ways that people say hello in Australia is a quick fix.
Then you gotta get into multilingual, because a lot of European countries, it's multilingual.
Mhm.
And you're expected to speak 3 or 4 languages in sales jobs, so your NLP's got to be multilingual and be able to translate.
Yeah, for now we're US and Canada,
English and-
Australia, yeah, for now. The other big issue with going to other countries is they don't have MLSs. The reason
What
we're,
is, what's that?
so that's just the
Multiple
database.
listing service.
Yeah,
It's a database of listings and it's private.
yeah.
They're owned privately.
700 of them across the US.
So the realtors, they're part of the National Association of Realtors, which gives them access to the MLS. So they hold on to that data for dear life. So in Australia, for example, everything comes through one XML feed. So bringing in data to our system is a little bit different. In Canada, they also have MLSs, so that makes it easy on us. So that's another big thing with, going to different countries. And in Europe, it's all over the place.
Well, Canada is French Canadian, so you can't do all of this.
Yeah.
You can't go in Eastern Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a number of signups in Canada, Toronto, English speaking.
English speaking.
Yeah.
That was one of my first lessons when I went to work. My first company was finding out about French Canadian versus French.
Yeah.
They're very, very different. The French that you speak in France is not the French you speak in French-speaking Canada. They're different, which figures, knowing that it's got a French origin.
Yeah.
So you use natural language processing, which is an AI technology. Do you use other forms of AI technology? Or are you using predictive analytics? I mean, what else are you using?
Yeah. So on the AI side, we kind of went the route first of, let's get a product out the door, let's figure out if we can build on top of someone, like Google's machine learning cloud, IBM, et cetera. So we tried building on top of that, but real estate data is horribly messy and comes in so many different ways. We identified at least 12 different ways people spell the word beds or bedroom, which is pretty crazy to think about. And that just broke all those models really quickly. So we built all of our natural language processing in-house, trained on specifically real estate data. So we're using entity extraction to parse out the bedrooms, bathrooms, price range, location, I think over 100 features, as well as intent classification. We have 200 intents and growing every single day.
Give everybody an example of an intent.
So an intent can range from something like say hello. So that's a ton of different ways that you might say hello, including the Australian ways now. All the way to, we have another intent that's very real estate specific, like ask beds. So if someone says, how many beds does 123 Main Street have? That'd be classified as ask beds. And then we have kind of fun small talk ones to, seem very human-like, that are ask favorite movie. So Holmes has favorite movies. It can tell jokes. It has favorite colors. All of those things can join into the conversation and really pose it well.
But all in the conversation space.
Yeah.
Is that pretty much where all your AI sits, is in the conversation space?
Right now,
Yeah.
like I said, that predictive days to sell model was a predictive analytics tool, but we're kind of using that separately. We explored a little bit in the computer vision space because the same techniques that we're using for natural language processing almost work exactly the same for computer vision. So the problem there is you have to have a ton of annotated data of this is a picture of a house with stainless steel appliances, etc. So we started in the natural language processing space, and that's where we're focused.
I don't want to geek out too much on AI here.
Yeah.
Question, yeah, Brad?
So what's a typical conversation go like? It's like somebody that says, I want a 3-bedroom house in Des Moines, it replies back with 3 houses, then what happens?
Yeah, so we have a bunch of different, what we call kind of conversational scripts for, in that case, that would have been a general buyer. So a general buyer is pretty high up in the funnel. They don't have a specific property in mind, but they're looking for properties. So they would start out with, I'm looking for a 2-bed home in Des Moines with stainless steel appliances. We'll try and get a little bit more additional information. How many baths are you looking for? What's the price range? And then return some results. We found 3 properties that I think you might like. Take a look at them and tell me what you think. Then we'll follow up and say, would you like to set an appointment to see any of these and hopefully magically schedule an appointment for realtors? Followed up with questions, what we call kind of our pre-qualifying questions, which are you already pre-approved for a loan? Are you already working with an agent? What's your time frame to move? And is there some sort of additional contact information that I can follow up with you? So just trying to qualify that lead a little bit better. And we really want to own that kind of first initial 5 minutes of the conversation and then pass it off to a realtor.
So is the goal to like fool the person into thinking that they're actually getting a response from a real person, or do they know that they're talking to a bot?
Yeah, that's a really fun problem we've been experimenting with. Every time he demos a realtor, they'll ask, and it's about 50-50 split between they want to flat out say it's a bot versus I want it to be a human. We call it ASA Homes, which is its like full name, and it will refer to itself as that in the conversation, and it refers to itself as a digital assistant for the team of ABC Brokerage. So it's pretty unclear right now, and it's a really new space. There are some big companies like X.AI and Wade and Wendy, who are New York-based bot companies who took the approach of we're going to give our bots names. X.AI's names are Amy and Andrew Ingram, and they just schedule meetings, and they're extremely human-like, and you never know that it's not human.
I use Amy Ingram, that's my virtual assistant, and most people have no idea to talk to a computer.
Yeah.
Because she says, hello, how are you? Talks to you, asks you questions, apologizes when she doesn't understand what you say. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and that's one of the really cool things. So we're striving towards that human level of AI, and that's what I think every AI company should strive for. And you mentioned, I'm sorry. We've heard a lot of pushback from realtors and like, oh, AI can't be empathetic. Well, actually, that's kind of an easy problem to solve. It's just by adding more intents. So we have intents like death, divorce, sickness, illness. So if someone says like, I just got a divorce, I'm looking to move to Des Moines. Holmes will say something like, I'm so sorry to hear that. What else can we help you with? So it is empathetic, and that's really what makes it pretty cool.
It's also what scares the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
So one of the big questions that's popping up is Seattle startup scene grows is how we can avoid becoming the next Silicon Valley and how we can bring diversity into our workplaces and culture. So I'm just really curious, you're like in such a unique position as a startup where you have funding and you're hiring. So what steps are you taking to introduce diversity in your workplace?
Diversity in the workplace. This is a big topic. There's a young lady that's very well known in the startup scene right now in Des Moines asking this question about diversity.
Yeah, that's a tough question to answer. So how we've approached it is we want to include as much diversity as we can. Right now, we're completely white. All of our full-time employees are male. Our intern that we had over the summer, and she'll be back this fall, is female. She was awesome. We loved her. If we could have her drop out of school and hire her full-time right now, we would. And it's a big problem in AIM. So we sent out all these on-site hires to Iowa State kind of job board to hire these interns, and pretty much all of our applicants were male. I think the one applicant we got that was female, we hired her, and it wasn't just because she was a female, she was the most qualified, and we thought she would do the best job. So it's definitely a challenge, but it's always in the back of our mind. Not really the back of our mind, but we're trying to, make that a part of our culture, but it's really tough.
It's an interesting question. There's Tony, the gal that's starting the conversation on Facebook right now in some of our groups, quoted an article from TechCrunch about this, and I did not. I didn't think the article was very good. I thought the guy was absolutely dead wrong, but I get the stress of investors pushing you to perform. And the second you take outside money, you have outside pressure to perform. And if you were to say, I'm trying to balance my diversity against my hiring, they would ask you what gets the revenue fastest, because that's what they're interested in. And so it's kind of like a large corporation where diversity has to exist at all levels. You can't just say it's at the top. You can't just say it's at the bottom. It's got to be at every level of management. Well, if one of your levels of management of a startup is your investor pool, and if they're not engaged in diversity, that's not a priority, your challenge is higher, which sucks, but it's unfortunately what we're dealing with right now. We've got time for one or two more questions. Yeah?
Just got a technical question. You've referenced Intercom, and I'm curious as to if you're using it more like a service so that you can service your customers and see how they're engaging and using your product, or are you actually using Intercom features as a part of your product that you then sell?
We're using it as a service. So we're paying for all their products, the help docs, or the help desk. So we use it as our live chat to interface with our agents. But the live chat that we provide to agents to install on their website with homes is our own internal service. So yeah, we're using Intercom as just the communication and help service and CRM.
You mentioned X.ai, what was the other company?
Wade and Wendy, that's a lot smaller. I think they're doing AI to help make recruiting easier.
If you just Google Amy Ingram and put Amy Ingram
There's also-
you'll get a whole list of them.
Yeah, there's also a really cool one that I've been looking at more, is Clara Labs. They take the approach that's they do the same exact thing as X.ai, to schedule meetings via like CC and Clara, but they take the approach of a human AI hybrid, where X.ai is 100% AI.
Yeah, Amy gets confused.
Yeah.
She has limits, so
Yeah.
I keep saying she, it's a machine. Well, I hate saying it, Amy, it is, no. The world's gonna change. You know, like right now, they don't have Outlook calendars set up yet. You can't do that. Then we can Google and a few others. You only do up to 5 people on a meeting. You can't do a reoccurring thing. So there's all these boundaries left to go. And it's been interesting to watch people try to interact. You guys have heard of Calendly, which is a way you can send people your calendar. I had a gentleman send Amy and say, "Oh, Amy, it's really nice to meet you. Here, just check out Calendly on this link, and you can schedule, pick a time." And I had to respond back and said, "He's not going to be able to handle that." Yeah, but it's fun to use and try. So. Well, guys, thank you for coming. I really appreciate you joining us. Give it to me. And please.